Good day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jay, and this is Homeschool Yo Kids podcast. Today we have with us Mary and Bobbie. Ladies, introduce yourself.
I'm Mary, and I'm not sure what you want to know. I was a homeschool mom to Bobbie and her brother James, and I was a teacher for a long time, and we can, I guess, talk about all that other stuff later on, but that's me.
I'm Bobbie. I was a homeschool student, kind of off and on. And then I started teaching special education for high school, and did that at a remote school and then a hybrid school. So we love, and then I'm planning to homeschool in the future, hoping to my own kids.
Okay. Yes. All right. So this is nice because I haven't had this dynamic before with the
Homeschool families. Homeschool Yo Kids Expo and Homeschool Beats Academy are teaming up to bring you a day of real support and real inspiration. Come explore curriculum and enrichment, meet trusted vendors, and connect with the homeschool community. And at our featured Expo stop, meet Homeschool Beats Academy and see how students ages 7 to 18 can create original music through beat making and production with parent-friendly guidance. Get dates and details at homeschoolyokidsexpo.com.
the homeschool parent and the homeschool adult now here present. Okay, so Mary, you said you were previously a teacher. What led you to homeschooling?
Well, when Bobbie was 5 or 4 and we were thinking about kindergarten, in my head, I thought, well, I don't want her to go to public school because even back then, that was 20 something years ago. I just didn't feel comfortable with some of the things that were going on in public education. And so I thought, oh, well, we'll send her to a private school, but we really couldn't afford it. So I kind of knew that wasn't an option. And my husband he was just thinking, well, we'll just send her to the local public school. And I don't know when it happened, but I just happened to be listening to a radio broadcast, and there weren't even podcasts at the time. It was just all different radio shows or whatever. And they did an episode about homeschooling, and I had actually never heard of it before. And so I thought, I could probably do that. And I thought, well, I have a teaching credential, so I should be able to teach my own kids. And so it was still quite a journey because even though I had a credential at that time, they weren't teaching phonics in the program. So I had to kind of teach myself how to teach her reading with phonics, which was really good. I liked that. And so we just kind of went from there, and we tried. There weren't a lot of curriculum options. And even the internet was pretty new as far as we had a computer, but this wasn't what it is today. And so it was still a process and a journey throughout their learning.
Nice. Okay. So from your experience in the classroom, you were like, okay, I'm not going to send my baby there. So we going to try this out.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because I loved being with my kids. Even all day. I mean, there obviously are times and days where you're like, oh my gosh, can I just go to the store by myself, or can I just have a moment? But for the most part, I loved summer because we were all home all day, but we didn't have so much structure, and we could just kind of do more play and let's go to the museum. I mean, we still did that during homeschool, but we wanted to touch on math every day and reading and science and all the different subject areas.
I was going to say, so how did your day look seeing that, your former classroom teacher coming home, never heard of homeschooling? So it's like, were you schooling at home? What was it like?
Kindergarten was easy because, I won't say easy because there's kind of a pressure, well, they need to learn to read. And so I did do the subjects, we did math and reading, but I felt nice. I felt good because I had so much more flexibility in like, she looks really like she's getting bored. Let's go out and play for a little while. I don't have to line up 30 students and march them out the door and make sure nobody gets lost or whatever. I just could do things with her. And then when my son was born, he was a whole different person. So, his attention span, especially at 5 years old, was way less than hers. He just wanted to move and wanted to play. So we did shorter bites at a time and kind of just worked around their personalities and the way they liked to do things.
Nice. So it sounds like you adapt.
Homeschool families, are you ready to refresh your plans for the year? Join us at the Homeschool Yo Kids Expo. Meet curriculum and enrichment vendors, discover new programs, and connect with a community that gets it, all in one place. Come with questions, leave with real options. Get event details and register now at homeschoolyokidsexpo.com. That's homeschoolyokidsexpo.com.
To them quickly, like like as far as like letting them lead.
I tried. I don't think I always succeeded, but I definitely tried to do that. Yeah.
What's the age gap between sister and brother?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. So mine are 9 and 12. So they had 3 years between them. So were you combining lessons? Cause I know, like with my 9-year-old, she's there for, the math lessons and everything. So she's kind of, on the same pace really as the older one.
Yeah, we did do that. And it was funny in some subjects, like we would combine, for example, like history, social studies type stuff, because they could both do similar things, but maybe I had to give my son a little more help with some of this stuff. We did science together, which was really fun because, a lot of experiments and a lot of cool stuff rather than just reading. And we did one science. I think Bobbie was in 8th grade and James was in 4th grade. And I just kind of had to help him with the math that was involved because, at a 4th grade level, he wasn't quite doing the same math that she was doing. But it still was really fun because he got to do all the cool experiments and things that we did.
Nice. So Bobbie. Let us hear your perspective of how this went. Of course, younger years, you probably don't remember a lot of, but how was homeschool? And how long did you homeschool? Because you said it was off and on. So when were you homeschooled?
So yeah, this is actually bringing back a lot of good memories of it. But will you remind me that you did?
K through 2 at home. And then we had her there was a private school near our house that had a homeschool program where the kids we did K through 2 and they could go to a classroom for music and PE. And so that was kind of a nice blend, I guess you could say. And then 3rd grade, we had her go into a classroom just because I wanted her to kind of see what it was like. And, just that structure because she had friends and I think she wanted to sort of be like what they were doing and do what they were doing. And so she got to see it. So
yeah, it was really fun. And it is a little bit, you don't appreciate what you're going through really until later. So I didn't realize how special it was to be homeschooled. So I kind of was thinking, I wish I was with these kids because I would make friends, but I almost had to try harder to make friends because I wasn't there as often. So I think that might have even helped me, but I did seeing everyone kind of fighting for attention in the classroom when I was in there is just such a difference from at home when, like she said, if I was bored and we needed a break or, just breaks when you need them. And then it really makes the learning part more impactful, I think, because you're really soaking everything in. So yeah, the structure of it. And then also when my brother came along too, we almost had a little bit of our own classroom environment where we were each had our own thing going. So that was good too. It wasn't just me. And it sounds like you have 2 kids together. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, especially looking back now, I can appreciate how blessed or lucky I was to be homeschooled. Because it was really great.
Nice. Okay. So after third grade, you stayed in public school?
No, we went back fourth and fifth grade at home, right?
Yes. And then you did sixth grade at school and then seventh and eighth at home.
And then
you're going back. I love that. And I love that you're introducing this to parents, because parents, like, they have that freight of, okay, well, like if I start now, like, do I have to do it all the way through, or will they be able to go to school? Will they be behind? Did you ever find when you were bouncing back and forth, where were you like in your academics?
I never felt like I was behind, which was probably a good sign.
Yeah. I guess I was doing okay.
Right.
Yeah. Going in, I never felt super overwhelmed. I was a pretty average student, like B's, so I was never, in high school.
Your kid has music in them. They just need the right tools to let it out. Homeschool Beats Academy teaches kids ages 7 to 18 how to make real beats at home on their schedule, in their own style. No experience needed. Grab the complete first beat kit free at homebeatsacademy.com. That's homeschoolbeatsacademy.com.
In school, I put my mind to it and did straight A's once or twice or something, but
that was kind of her personality, and it sort of still is. She's like, I think I want to see what it feels like to get straight A's. And so she just did.
But I didn't.
And then after that, she's like, oh, that was okay. Now I'm back to, A's and B's and really worried about it.
But I never felt like I was missing information from the earlier years or anything like that. So
nice. Because I hear like you had a good foundation. Like you had that structure that was already instilled in you. So when you went to public school, you were able to still function in that environment with knowing what you already, brought in. I'm sure
it was a private school that they were nearby, but it was the same school that it had the homeschool program. So she from going in the K through 2, being in a classroom for a couple like elective type classes, music and PE, she did get to know a few kids, and our next door neighbor, her best friend since they were 3 years old, to that school also. So it was, it wasn't such a stark transition. Like, I don't know anyone, and now I'm going to be thrown in with this big, huge group of kids that I've never met. It was smaller class sizes. So that maybe made it a little bit better or easier. I don't know.
Okay. Cool. Nice. Well, I mean, Bobbie's here to tell you, like, did that make it easier?
Well, I can't compare it to a public school, but knowing what I know now about the classroom sizes and probably what it would have been like, it was a good kind of in between. And then a similar school is like the charter schools that we had in the area, smaller classrooms. So it kind of made it an easier transition to the classroom. Sorry.
Nice. And so was your brother, was it James?
Yes.
Was James bouncing back and forth also?
He kind of did a similar, sorry, I'm getting her a little pad she wants to draw. He did a similar, he went K through 2 at home and then third grade at school. And then he did, I'm trying to remember, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Did he do 7th and 8th? He might have been then 4th through 8th at school, at home. And then in high school, he went to the same school. And at that time, I started working at the school. So that helped us with tuition because it still was expensive. And, my husband was really the only breadwinner in he was doing shift work. So that was another nice thing about homeschooling was we had Disneyland passes one year and they weren't as expensive as they are now, but we could go whenever we wanted. I mean, like on a Tuesday. So then now we'll do homeschool on Saturday or whatever, because we missed Tuesdays and it wasn't crowded. And so that was kind of fun.
Nice. Okay, cool. And so y'all all ended up at the same school. Well, you were probably a senior at the time that he started, or were you already out?
We just missed each other.
Yeah.
So when he was
Okay.
high school,
Yeah, when he became a freshman, she had just graduated.
Oh, okay, nice. And you were working at the school.
Yeah, I just worked part-time, but it was kind of nice because I could drive them, and then I was there for work for a little while, and then so it worked out really well.
Nice. What were you doing at the school?
I was the homeschool program that they had, I took over. It was a very small program, so it was kind of nice. It just was helping the parents to manage their files so that it was kind of like an umbrella for homeschool families. It was in California, so it gave them, they didn't have to file with the state the way if you're just an independent homeschooler, you have to file with the state, and so they know what you're doing, and nosy neighbors don't come and say, "Why are your kids at home all day?" And but it was interesting.
A little truancy, people knocking at your door.
Yeah. Even at the school, though, there were some people who really still thought homeschooling was super weird, and it was interesting, just the mindset of, oh, you're homeschooled, or oh, you homeschool your kids, and I always heard I could never do that, and
I be telling people, like, now you need to just tell them, just say you don't like your kids. Just say you don't like them. Like, when people say that, oh, I could never, like, you could, just say you don't like your kids. That's fine. It's okay. Because like you say, you enjoyed your kids. That's how I feel about mine. Like, I enjoy them. So it's not
I'd never be with my kids all day. And it's like, that sounds like another issue to work out.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Bobbie, okay, you went on to teach special ed. So your educational journey led you back to the classroom. And were you teaching in the public school?
Yeah, it was a charter school that was a hybrid program. So we did the Summit Learning Program, and then they would come in for classes either like once or twice a week to get help, and then also to meet with me as I think in California, it's the specialized academic instructor. So I would support them and then do their IEPs and stuff. So that was really cool because it was parents that wanted to do the homeschool and at home, but the special ed made it so hard. So they had the first with the IEP and then the extra teacher support and stuff.
And this was all in Cali also?
Yeah, California. Okay. And then I taught with Connections Academy in California, and they were completely online, but still had the whole IEP process and everything.
So you've had a wide range of seeing different educational models.
Yeah, kind of. It was mostly all high school. I was thinking elementary would be fun just because you're really working with their foundation. High school made me realize, though, that there were so many gaps when, kids just get moved along without really testing and everything.
Yes. So, and Mary, what were you teaching? You before you started homeschooling before you started homeschooling Bobbie, you had been in the classroom, right?
Yes, and I started out teaching kindergarten, and then when I got married, we moved, so I got a job at it was a community college. So I was doing like adult basic ed, people who wanted to get their GED and that kind of thing. So it was
That's a jump.
and there was then another job I had. I worked with high school kids who needed to make up credit. So they were kind of like the not really loving school type of kids. And I had some interesting experience with those kids. I liked them. They were great kids, but they just had all of them had different issues of why they needed to make up credit. And then in the evening, after that part of the job was over, I worked with adults who were going back to get their GED, and they were fantastic, because they really were there because they wanted to be there. The high school kids were fun, but they didn't necessarily want to be there from 3 to 6 every day.
Yeah, and that's not even that long either. So, no. But they didn't like it at all.
Right. No.
But that's a huge jump from kindergarten, which That's something I could never do. When people talk about never do,
Yeah.
kindergarten, first grade, second, third, probably any elementary, really, I'll pass on that. I like the older kids. I like my kids, but I don't like a bunch of kids like that size. Like, I don't like that. So I like middle and high school. It's way more my vibe. So thank you.
Middle and high school English?
I taught middle and high school. Yes. Yes. Kindergarten, though, as far as readiness, did you see, do you feel that the kindergartners came your way were ready for school?
The whole class was different. I mean, there were some that were really, really ready and some that weren't really ready at all. I mean, and age differences too with amongst kindergartners. Some are barely 5 and some are almost 6, that has a lot to do with it, how much their parents do with them at home, or if they went to a program where they got a little bit of learning each day. Seems like parents are the main thing that make the difference.
Say it again, Mary. Say it again. Yes, parents are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
One of my big things in education is the parents being involved in their kids' education, whether they're at public school, private school, homeschool, wherever. I mean, there are some parents who homeschool their kids and just sit them in front of a computer all day. And that I don't think is necessarily the best thing either. So, it's interesting. My last job before I retired, I was a math specialist for a K-8 charter school. And that was so fun because I got to see all the age ranges and just the different stages of development. And I was never bored because I would go classroom to classroom to classroom, different days, different classes. And then I taught some junior high classes at the time. Also, it was really a great job.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I talk about kindergarten readiness from my own, because my oldest did go to kindergarten in first grade. And I remember going to her open house and talking to the teacher. And she was like, the previous year, she had 22 students on her roster and 9 of them had never held a pencil before.
Wow.
Yes. And so my little had been to pre-K3. She had been to pre-K4 because I was working. I was in the classroom. So she had been to all these, programs. And mind you, I had stayed home with her for the first 2 years of her life. So she's something. Okay. Know that. But I was just like, that was so shocking to me. And there was only one kindergarten teacher in the classroom, whereas I thought, it was still 2 teachers in the classroom and all this stuff. So I'm already concerned, like, okay, so what you gonna be doing in here then? Like, are we going to start with where the kids are that have never held a pencil? Or are we going to start with the kids that, where they're at? Like, because it's one individual, one adult there. So how is she going to be able to divide or, just do this instruction for this whole group when that some of these kids have not been prepared for school?
How'd she do it?
I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there, Mary. I was in my own classroom. However, like mine, she made it out all right. We always had good reviews. She did learn a lot. It was a Title I school, so she learned a lot of different things that I didn't think that she would be learning in elementary, but she did. And she made it. But Kenny still talks about her. She still likes her, Miss Widgeon, she liked her. But I just wonder about that, and I think about it all the time. And so now I just, tell people, if you're going to put your child in the school system, prepare them for it. Don't just send them there and hope for the best or just throwing them to the wolves because they're going to be behind. It's not easy to catch up. And that's why, I use my platform to remind parents of their importance. And like you said, it's always going to start at home. It's always going to start with the parent and how much time they put into their kids as far as their learning and development. So.
It does seem like more than ever. I mean, because I'm older than most, older than the average bear, I guess. But I've noticed that there's just such a tendency now for parents to just expect the schools to do everything. Like even manners and common sense things that I learned at home when I was growing up. And it's hard to understand that because these kids, a lot of kids are really great, and their parents are doing a good job at home with teaching kind of just how to be kind to others and, that kind of thing. I remember at the school that I worked at they had I don't know, it was like kindness week or something. And I thought, are we supposed to be kind all the time?
Right. It's like this week.
It's a fun week. Wear orange every day for kindness week. Well, maybe we should just be wearing orange all the time then, because we're supposed to have kindness all the time, every day.
I had a 10th grader. Well, it's not just one. I had 10th graders that didn't know what morals were. We were doing, I forgot what we were doing, but we were talking about morals. And I was like, what's that? Like, never heard that word before. So it's like, I tell people, I don't believe in common sense. I don't believe that there's a common knowledge that everyone like has, besides maybe please and thank you. But really, it all depends on what household they're in and what their parents or what they've been taught, because you don't know what you have not been taught. And people think that things are common because it's like, oh, you don't know that? It's like, no, I've never heard of that. I'll give you an example. I did an interview a couple years ago with someone who taught in New York, and she was talking about the biases of the tests, standardized tests. She said they had a question up there about a lawn. And these New York students who live in apartment buildings, they didn't know what a lawn was. So it's like, where things we think is like, oh, okay, like, oh, everybody knows that. Or like, that's just common knowledge. It's like, no, it really isn't. Like, you only know what you've been taught.
Right. And I guess by common sense, I mean like more of a kindness thing, like, oh, you don't take someone else's pencil off their desk and break it or whatever. Like I had a kid when I was testing the kids during the homeschool program one time, and every pencil I gave him, he broke in half. And I was like, I
Why? Was he playing a little, they used to have a game when I was in school where they would play the little, like, try to break their pencil. Like one person would hold a pencil like this. Oh, was he angry? Was he angry?
Like, it was the most bizarre thing I had ever seen. And I said, you can't, I was trying to, and I don't know if even my explanation, I said, this is the school's property that we're letting you use. You can't break someone else's stuff. And, now nobody can use that pencil. And I would just, that kind of thing is what I mean. But I do see what you're saying. Yeah, there's a lot of words. I remember when I was doing kindergarten testing, one of the questions was, how many wheels does a wheelbarrow have? And I thought, you don't live on a farm.
Yeah. Well, I have 3.
Yeah. But and there's some now that have 4, but back then it was 3. So it was like, and I would ask them sometimes if they kind of looked at me blank. I mean, these are like, it was a kindergarten readiness. Are these kids ready for kindergarten? And, so they're 4 years old, and they would kind of look at me like, what's a
wheelbarrow? Yeah. It's like, I'm like, oh, why would they know that? Like, what?
Yeah.
Is being farmers in their part-time? Like, what is going on? Like, the whole inner city, and they're talking about some wheelbarrows. That's
right.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting. Just all of that verbiage, language, dialects, all that stuff is all, it varies from state to state, especially like, with us seeing going to different places and learning about different cultures. Like, it all varies. And I guess the testing should be kind of accommodating to the area, but I don't necessarily think that they are.
I don't think so. I don't know how they would do it unless they, because the federal, this is Federal Department of Education or whatever, but you're right, states, are so different. And even within each state,
yeah, that's what I was going to say, because you have the rural areas, you have the cities, you have it's a lot of different, it's a lot of different components when it comes to a state in general. I don't know, Mary, that's above our pay grade, love. Yeah. But okay, so through this all, though, you all have created something else, right?
Right. And it was kind of from my work as a math specialist.
Okay.
I worked with 8th graders who did not know their multiplication table. And, I don't believe in okay, here, let's sit and do flashcards for 10 minutes and you're bored out of your mind. But I learned that they had to have, and, our project now is multiplication, because I saw those 8th graders and even, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th who didn't know their multiplication basic facts. And I thought, they're never going to be able to reduce fractions. If you don't have that in your head, how are you going to, solve an equation and pull out common factors and that kind of thing? You really need to know that to get into the higher level math and go. Some people may not want to end up being an engineer or a mathematician or whatever, but you should be able to just go to the grocery store and say, okay, they're this much for whatever, and how many can I buy if I buy 4? Just easy sort of estimation, multiplication, division in your head. And just my main thinking was, let's try to create a program or a plan that homeschool parents and classroom teachers could use it too, but that's every day or 4 days a week, all year long, and include games. And it's just a series of number talks for, beginning of like an opening to a math lesson. We're designing it to be maybe 10 minutes at the most for each lesson, with an activity that's hopefully fun. And a lot of them are partner activities. So if you're the mom teaching your student, you're the partner, you just work together to do this activity or play this game or whatever to reinforce the multiplication facts. And every curriculum that I've looked at, and I haven't seen them all, only starts like multiplication and division is taught in 3rd grade. Generally, you could start in the end of 2nd grade with equal groups and that kind of thing. But it should be taught all year, so that by the end of 3rd grade, they really do know their multiplication facts. Usually it's one chapter or one unit, and then they don't really do it. They kind of use it throughout the rest of the year, but it's not reinforced throughout the year. So by a lot of times by 4th grade, after the summer, they're like, what's 7 times 8? I don't know. I don't care.
Right.
But so I'm doing writing the number talks, and Bobbie Catherine's helping me with the more technical side of it. Like, how can we get it formatted properly? And we're playing the games. And so she's giving me feedback on, well, that's not fun and that's fun. And, that.
Nice. Nice.
How long they take and everything. Because the attention thing is something like, even now doing an activity, or I would notice with even the high school kids too, it's like, it's better to do short little activities with little breaks instead of this big long thing where you're zoning out,
Okay. I am in the process of teaching my littles multiplication. Ooh. And surprisingly enough, multiplication is something that has stuck with me, like multiplication and division. I guess I did pay attention enough for that. So I do know those. I do know those. But yes, we are in the process of doing multiplication facts. The way I do it, it's not that fun, but I guess they kind of make it fun because we do use whiteboards, and they do make it like a game, like, seeing who can do it the fastest and everything. But I will say, and I admitted this on the podcast yesterday, so I'm saying it again, we don't do it enough. If we did it more, then I know that they would have it better. But we only do math twice a week. And every time I say, okay, we're going to do this 4 times a week, then some stuff happens and then we don't do it 4 times a week. So I'm holding myself accountable for that, and trying to figure out how to make it easier. We've done songs, like I pulled up, YouTube videos where it's doing the counting by 2s, 3s, 4s, and they actually have those. They can count by 2, they can count by 3, 4, 5. And then after that, no, like go up to 5. And then of course they know their 10s, they know 11s. But that 6, 7, 8, 9 is the ones I know they do not know by heart. So it's just a process that we're going through. So this is nice to know that, this is a focus. So you need to check it out.
Well, and I'll send you some of the games that we have, just ones that you've worked on. The other thing that's interesting about what we've done is we do the facts out of order. Like we don't go, okay, here are the 0s, then the 1s, then the 2s, then the 3s, and so on. Because, in first and second grade, they do a lot of addition with doubles, 2 plus 2, 4 plus 4, and so on. So we start with the 2s. And they can connect from their learning of the doubles addition facts to multiplication. Well, it's the same. 2 times 3 is the same as 3 plus 3, and so on. So we kind of have a number talk about that. And then we go to the 5s and 10s, because those are, like you said,
easier.
And counting by 5s, they learn to do that in kindergarten and first grade. And then we do the 0s and 1s, because a lot of times there are misconceptions with the 0s and 1s from addition, because when I multiply times 1, it's the same number, just like when adding 0, but you don't want them to mix that up when they're doing multiplication. 0, and we kind of focus the first couple weeks on equal groups of, which is what multiplication is. And so if I have 0 groups of something, then I'm just going to have 0. Or if I have 3 groups with nothing in it, with 0 in each group, then it's going to be 0 things altogether. So it's the first couple number talks or weeks are just talking about equal groups and what does that mean, and giving them kind of a foundation of the understanding of what multiplication and division is, rather than just diving them in going, okay, 1 times 1, 2 times 2, that kind of thing. So it's no, it's okay. It's just a process of really giving them a foundation to learning the facts by the end of the year. So they have that and can build on that for the higher level math, as they go into long division and fractions, and then factoring equations and all that kind of thing as they get older.
That's when I'm going to pass it off, and they're going to get a tutor, because I'm not going past multiplication and division probably. But I like that. I like how you're breaking it down, and understand like which ones are the easier ones, which ones are the ones that are, like, okay, they can get these, or let's explain this better. It is
the thing that's really neat about doing those easy ones first is the 7s are the hardest, because there's really no, like 9s have these really cool patterns and interesting facts. If you look at the numbers, I'll send you that too. It's pretty cool. Once they get to the 7s, after they've learned all these other facts, they really know most of the times 7 facts, because they've done 2 times 7, 5 times 7, 10 times 7.
Yes.
They know most of them already. It's just a couple, 8 times 7, 7 times 7, that are just ones that always give us trouble.
Yes, definitely. But I would definitely love to see, like, what you have and what you do, to make it more digestible for them. Because I know a couple weeks ago we were doing math, and my she got frustrated, honey, and there were tears. And it's like, it's okay, because we're gonna push through this, and then we're gonna revisit another day. But I told her it's okay, like to not know, and that's why I told you, like I'm holding myself accountable, and that's why I told her too. I don't do this enough with you guys. I get the frustration. It's okay. We don't know it, but it's mainly on me because I'm not pushing you to do it enough. I like the songs. I like doing the songs, and I feel like if they're able to count by it, then it'll be easier. But it's still, a rewiring of the brain. And talking with so many math specialists, so many math teachers, and creators of different math resources, they always tell us like it's in you. Like math, you're born innately with math embedded in you. It's just the way it's taught, that kind of, and I don't want to be I don't want to be the one that's teaching them wrong, but I probably am. But I do want that foundation, because I know we can't move on to anything else until they know those. So it's a journey.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. And it's, homeschool is so fun, but also so challenging, but also so hair tearing some days,
Yeah, and it makes you deal with your own like holdups and your own issues because I didn't have good experiences with math in school. By 7th, 8th grade, like I had mean math teachers. And I tell people all the time, like Miss Johnson, Miss McCord, these are math teachers that really did a number on me, okay? And I had to do 2 years of geometry. Then I went to college and failed statistics. I had to do 2 years of statistics. I'm not a math person, but I am a math person because we are math people. However, like I had to grow out of like telling myself like, oh, okay, well, because and I talked about this yesterday, you're like told that it's either one or the other. Like you're either going to be really good in English, reading and all that good stuff, and history. So they'll put English and reading together. I mean, history and English together, and then they'll have math and science together. So it's like, okay, well, which side are you on? But it's like you could be on both sides. You don't have to pick a side.
Yeah, you don't have to pick a side. Yeah,
I know. Make it seem like it's gang related. Like I can only be in one gang. Like, no, I can be in both. I can be in both. So I love what you guys are going. Are y'all going to grow to do like division? Are you going to do other?
The multiplication includes division. So for each, like when we do, for example, the ×2 facts, we make a connection to division within the same, because each set of facts has 2 weeks. I think it is. I'll have to see. Let's see. Where we make a connection to division every single time, so they see the relationship there, and they go, "Oh, if I can do multiplication, I can do division." Division does seem harder for some reason. I don't know why. Even for me, I like, what's this divided by that? But you can use the multiplication that to think about it. Okay. 9 divided by 2. Well, or 9 divided by 3, what times 3 equals 9? Oh, I know 3. So 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So it's kind of an overall comprehensive basic fact multiplication division program, I guess. I don't know what we call it. We call it a project right now because we're still in the midst. We're kind of hoping we're about midway through all the facts of writing everything up and getting it edited and then formatted right so that we can put it out there. And we're hoping to have it ready by end of July. So, when August schools are starting and everything, we'll probably put it on Teachers Pay Teachers or something like that. But we want to share it at the conference. I think we're doing the August. Is that in Vegas?
Yes, August. I don't know. August 5th? I don't know. I know the one it's August 7th, maybe? No, August 6th. I know the one in Phoenix is August 15th. I know that's that day, and that's what I'm trying to do a week before. What would that be? I don't know. One of those.
So it's probably the week before the one in
Yes.
Phoenix.
Yes.
8th?
With the 8th? Would it be the 8th? Okay.
Do you live
in math, Mary? I told you I can't do math. Well, I don't do math well. Let me reword. Kathleen would be very disappointed if I said that. I don't do math well. Yes, we live in Phoenix.
You do math every day that you don't even think about.
Yes. That's what Professor Parker told me yesterday. He's with all this math and he does a lot of parent workshops with teaching parents how to teach math to their little people. And that's what he said too. It's like, y'all, you literally do math all day and we don't think of it that way.
And that's another thing that you can do with your kids. Like when you go to the grocery store, say, these apples are, well, now they're $1 or something each, but how many, if we buy 2, how much might that be? You know, it's close to $1. And just so that they're always kind of thinking that way is really good. I didn't do that enough with my kids, but they were both pretty good at math.
Yeah.
Neither one of them loved it.
I kind of felt the same way as you were. We were getting this messaging, oh, you're just not a math person, or you must know. But then especially I remember algebra in high school, when you start getting it and it starts clicking, it's so fun. And then it's so rewarding. And I'm like, maybe it
is.
And, but there is kind of this, you're either in one camp or the other.
Yes. And I've always been a reader. Like I love reading. So
did I tell you you were a math person?
No, not you, but the teachers at the school would say, even just hearing math person, you're thinking, oh, am I one of those?
Yeah. And that was the big things we tried to tell the parents when I was working as a math specialist. Don't tell your kids that, well, I wasn't a math person, so you're probably not a math person. Let's try a different approach on how to look at these problems so that maybe they'll think it's more fun than I'm just grinding this out. And unfortunately, a lot of the math curriculum now is just, here's what you do. Here are 20 problems, do them the same way.
Right. And my thing was always like, if I can get you the answer, I don't feel like the work and everything else is necessary. And I don't feel like I have to do it the way that you show me. Well, my problem is, Mary, I'm a bucket, okay? Like a buck on everything. It's like, why do I have to do it that way? If I can get the answer this way, then why can't we just is that not the answer? Is that not the answer?
But that's true. I think that's a good way to look at it. And I have a student that I tutor right now, and he has such a different brain. And so we're working on problems together. He's in 8th grade and he does problems. And I'm like, tell me how you did that, because he got the right answer and he shows it to me. I'm like, that is really awesome. That's how you should do these types of problems if you ever see one, because it works. You understand it. I didn't do it that way, but that's how you should do it. It really
I know. See how accepting you are of that? And then you're seeing all these new TikTok and YouTube videos that are showing you. Like I saw a video the other day that was like, oh, you don't have to carry the one. You could just do this. And they brought the numbers down and put in a different place values. And I'm like, wait a minute, you can do that. Why are we not able to do that? So I guess that's my issue with math. Because, English and literature, like it's subjective and it's really based off of the reader. And like you can argue a point long as you're able to support it. So that's why I'm always like, okay, like me and my professors used to go head to head all the time, because you're not going to tell me what this dead man meant by this. Did you know him? Like, is this your friend? Because this is what I got from it. And I'm going to tell you why I got this from it. And so that's why I really love literature. However, math is just like, even with the new math, Mary and Bobbie, like y'all see how they're teaching the kids to draw slants on their paper and all this stuff. Like, what are we doing? What is?
Yeah. And they're trying, I think the curriculum companies are trying really hard to show different methods and different ways of doing things, but it doesn't seem like it's working. I almost feel like we should teach math more like we teach science, where here's a problem. What do we need to know to solve it? And let's just try to solve it. And I saw this video I think it was in China or Japan, where they do one problem a day in a math class. And the teacher writes the problem on the board. and everyone just tries to kind of work it out. They can talk with their friends. They can talk with the teacher. Well, what do you need to know to solve this problem? Well, okay, let's look at that particular thing that we need to know. Do we already know it? Do we need to learn it? It seemed like such a great way to do it because the kids are really having to think rather than just listening to a teacher go, blah, 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 blah. This is how you do it.
This is how you do it. Yes. Yes. I think that's the holdup with the math. It's the one way. It's like, it's the one way of this is how you have to do it. And it's like no alternative. So if your steps don't look like my steps, your answer's wrong. Even if my answer's right though, like, how is that? Like, what are you teaching me right now? What are you teaching me right now to doubt myself? I don't know. It's a lie. And
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, what the most interesting little tool I've seen or came across recently? Well, probably last year. Is it Abacus?
Yeah, that's an interesting tool.
Oh my, mind blowing. Don't know how to use it. Any way possible do I know like how that works. But to see kids use that, blowing mine. It's blowing mine.
There's a lot of stuff like that out there. I remember I watched a video of how they, you were talking about, you have to carry the one. And I think it was multiplication, but it was some other thing like that we have shown the kids a certain way, this and this is the steps. And I think it was somewhere in Europe how they do the same type of problem and it's completely different. And I thought, that makes sense, so that might make sense to some of our kids where the way we do it doesn't. And so why do we focus just on one way? I don't know.
Exactly. My oldest calls it government math. She's like, this government math. It's so
That's
difficult.
what it is, really. It's I don't know. So.
Yeah. I know. And I'm still healing from my math wounds from grade school. So,
and that's too bad because that means that your teachers weren't, and I grew up learning math a certain way. And for some reason I liked it. I was really shy as a kid. So being able to look, I can do this problem. I can, work these steps or whatever. But I feel like I didn't learn as much as I could have. And I could have even done better in math in college and beyond if I had learned kind of a more problem solving approach. But, English, I wasn't a great reader and it kind of scared me, like the discussion part of it, because I hated in-class discussions as a kid.
Really?
So it is different. I love reading now, but I'm still a very slow reader. But I love to read. So that's kind of fun just to read new books. And I'm trying to read all the books that I should have read in high school, but I just had really good English teachers. So, reading some of the things. And I never, I'll read a book and then I'll look up, I read some book, The Old Man and the Sea. And I thought, that's so depressing. What a depressing story. And I told my friend I read this book and he said something like, well, did you see the allegory to this? I'm like, nope, just thought it was a really depressing, sad story about this poor old man. Great story. Very interesting, but I never got all the symbolism and all that stuff that was supposed to be in there. And sometimes I thought, I think you're just making that up.
Exactly. That's what me and my professors used to have an issue with, because you're definitely making that up, sir. Just because you have a doctorate and it doesn't mean that that's concrete. I'm sorry. No, I don't. I've had some, but I like you, like some texts from high school and college, I want to revisit. Like I came across some books. We had some books donated for the expo. And I was going through the titles. I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember reading this. And I did not understand it. I did not understand it. And it's like, okay, well, maybe now if I revisit it, because, our brains aren't fully developed until we're 25 anyway. So it's like, maybe I will understand it more now. So I would like to revisit some of the texts that I previously read too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
yes.
I'm going to tell you that your organization, because I think it was, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I had contacted you about speaking in Phoenix. That might have been one of the first conferences that you had. And so something happened where you had to cancel. Do you remember that?
Yes, we had to reschedule, and I knew your name looked familiar. Like I was like, I know this person, but yeah.
On our way to Phoenix, and I didn't get your email. I think I didn't get it in time. But it was no problem. I mean, we had a fun time in Phoenix. We saw an old friend, and so it was really cool. But then when I looked you up just this past year, I thought, oh my gosh, it's grown so much. So congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a journey. And like I think about, how people talk about failure and like if I would have let that, because that was a big hit, like, like very last minute cancellation. We had to reschedule it to the end of the summer. And that's how now Phoenix is always at the end of our tour stop. Because it makes sense too, like to come back home. But I just think about that, like if I would have let that stop the progress, because that was our very first expo. And yes, ma'am. So that was 4 years ago, Mary. And I'm glad you revisited and saw like, okay, they got it together now.
Yeah. And I remember you said you were going to try to get different, do things a different way or get things happening differently. And so it would keep growing. And so I'm so happy that it is, and it did, and it's doing well.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Look, now that Bobbie's back, I have two more questions for you. No worries. I love that you that's my homeschool life. Like I shooed mine away earlier. They came in here. I was like, go back out. Because they will come in, want to say hi and everything else. But okay, so with all that you ladies do and have created and are creating in the midst of, how do you self-care, especially Bobbie, you being a new mom, got a little toddler over there? Like how do you make sure that you stay replenished?
Go ahead.
That's a good question. I'm trying to figure that out kind of right now because I'm also pregnant and then due around the time of the conference. So I don't know how that's going to work. But
yeah, because she was going to come with me. We were both going to go together. So we'll just see how it goes with the baby.
My main thing right now, she's still napping. And so during her naps, I kind of, I think like, oh, I should be maybe cleaning or something, but I just let myself relax and rest at the same time. And then figure out the cleaning when she's with her dad later in the day,
Nice.
So yeah, trying to take like an hour or two at least per day to just relax and do almost nothing has been the biggest thing for me.
Good. And Mary?
Well, I'm retired mostly, so I get a lot of relaxation time. I mean, that I feel kind of guilty sometimes. So I probably just need to stop feeling guilty about it. I really enjoyed work, working full time. We moved to be closer to Bobbie and her husband and the babies. My husband's retired, so it's been really good. And my husband and I like to hike and play golf. So we just kind of do different things at different times. And I guess that's it.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's good. And you've raised yours, Mary? Like you've raised them. Like you've raised your kids. Oh, yeah. Don't feel guilty. You are free, girl. You are free.
But sometimes, like for her, the self-care is almost having a project to work on, because you might go a little bit crazy if you don't have anything to work on. So yours is almost opposite, where you like having something to be working toward.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, get a little stir crazy if you're not doing something.
Yeah. And cleaning the house isn't my favorite project, so that doesn't count.
I call cleaning therapy, because it's like when I sort through thoughts and stuff. Like I do a lot of thinking when I'm cleaning. So I always say it's my little therapy sessions with myself. But okay, so if our listeners didn't hear anything else, what's 3 things you want them to take away? And both of you can answer this. What's 3 things you want them to leave this conversation with?
I would say everyone is a math person. Just don't worry about it. And for parents, especially, just show your kids a problem and see, ask, how would you solve that? What should we do here? Because that might get them thinking differently. And, then you can guide them through to.
I would say one of them is like every student is so different. So if you're trying a program, they're frustrated. It's not that they're not a math kid. It just might be a different approach that really makes things click with them.
That's a really
nice.
Good. Yeah. And as homeschool parents, especially if you have more than one child, every kid is so different. You just can't do the same thing. I had to change a lot of things from what I taught her to when I taught my son. Different scheduling a little bit, different activity level, different everything. So just see the uniqueness in your children and do the best you can. I mean, sometimes it's not possible, but do the best you can to tailor it to them. That's one of the beauties of homeschooling. You don't have 20 kids, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever, and you can sort of tailor it to their needs and their personalities and uniqueness.
Yes.
And just embrace homeschooling. Some days are going to be horrible. Some days are going to be so-so, and some days are going to be fantastic. And, overall, I look back and I see how fantastic it was overall.
Nice. So that was nice. The biggest. 2 more from you, Bobbie.
Oh,
yeah, it was 3 apiece. You thought we were doing a collaboration here. I thought, no, ma'am.
Another one, I guess, just the tip, kind of like we talked about earlier with cutting things into smaller. Not every student needs it, but smaller portions, and then breaks, running around, and that can help too. And then I don't know. The third one is so hard to think of, but I'm going to say I'm having a brain fart on that one.
I would say, like you said, self-care is really important, especially at this stage. You have toddlers and babies and even older kids. I mean, just go into your room if you have teenagers and say, I'm going to just be right out. Don't break anything.
Right. Yes. Give me a minute. I know, Bobbie, we can call that pregnancy brain.
Can I get a pass on it?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I appreciate you, ladies. And I do look forward to seeing you in Vegas, right? Y'all are doing Vegas. If you make it, Bobbie, baby, do you know what you're having yet?
Yeah, a boy. So yeah.
It's so exciting. Right? Girls and boys first. I have 2 girls. Don't tell them I didn't sound excited, but they know. I wanted them both to be boys, but so that's good though. That's beautiful. Well, I appreciate you, ladies.
Hope we get to meet at another one. If I don't make it to the Vegas, hopefully we'll get to do another one.
Of course. And when y'all do launch, let me know so I can include it in our newsletter. And I will definitely make sure that all your links are available in the description. You have some time to get those things together. And parents, remember that there are resources available. You do not have to do this journey alone. I talk about my math deficit all the time. And I will be supplementing soon as I feel overwhelmed, which is in 2 weeks. But no, reach out to the resources. Understand that this isn't a journey you have to take alone. And, homeschool your kids.
Thank you.
Yay.
Of course.